No eggs, meat, cheese. Man.
Vegan and vegetarianism has come a long way. Vegetarianism in particular has gotten so popular these days that you probably have a family member or a friend who either is or has tried vegetarianism at one point, because as the years go by, more and more people make the switch, whether it be for their health or for other reasons. And in the last couple of years, since veganism has really been introduced, it has gained an immense amount of popularity, although not for the best reasons. A lot of the time, vegans are the butt end of the joke, constantly being portrayed in a bad light and being associated with negative things. A couple years ago, when vegan memes were just at its peak, I saw probably about more than 10 degrading posts about veganism on social media daily. So before anyone just assumes exactly where I'm going with this, yes, I was in fact vegan at one point in my life. And for over the year that I did it, I actually really enjoyed it. Although yes, I did end up quitting. I was inspired by many people to go vegan. People like Andy Hurley, Gerard Way, and although him being just a vegetarian, Frank Iero. They were all people who inspired me, but it wasn't until a friend of mine made the switch and I saw an actual physical, in-person representation of veganism that I decided that I too wanted to make the switch. As far as my experience, I feel like I hopped on at the wrong time. Vegan jokes were at an all-time high at this point, and so I dreaded having to tell people about my diet restrictions, because at that point everything was just a big joke. And thankfully, a lot of people were actually really cool about it, but it wasn't until people my age started finding out about it that I started getting more of the responses that I feared in the beginning. Wait a minute, so if you're vegan, what do you eat?
You're telling me you don't eat meat, eggs, or dairy? That's called veganism, and I don't touch that.
Wait, so you're vegan? Oh man, barely being able to eat must suck. I'm so sorry for you. These responses didn't bother me all too much because I think they were just legitimate questions that they had never really asked anyone before. One thing that did, however, was when people would tell me how much they would hate being vegan and then proceed to go into graphic detail as to why. I mean, I get it if it goes like...
I don't think I could go vegan. I'm actually really happy with what I'm eating currently, and it seems really challenging.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, it's not for everyone. And occasionally I would have conversations like this, but most of the time they went like...
I mean, that's a lot of restrictions. I couldn't do that.
Well, it's not really for everyone.
I would die if I couldn't eat meat. Bacon? Basically live off this stuff, you know? Burgers? You don't even eat burgers, do you?
Veggie burgers, I guess.
Why would you do that?
You think I'm exaggerating, huh? No one could possibly be this ridiculous and blatant, right? Unfortunately, yes, because when people find out that you don't eat the same things that they do, you're no longer a human being with feelings or morals. Someone has literally told me in graphic detail about how they would take pleasure in eating an entire cow. And by saying that, I feel like I need to disclaim that I am not against other people eating meat. Because I am fully aware that veganism and/or vegetarianism does not physically work for some people. And I think that a lot of people who try to promote veganism don't acknowledge that. Half a year had went by in this point of my journey of being vegan, and though I was still trying to keep it on the down low, I was more open to having discussions about it, and I wasn't as scared to tell people. And just allowing myself to talk about it whenever it came up instead of shying away like I did before was so freeing. However, when I started being more open about it, a certain person found out who was actually one of the main reasons why I kept my veganism quiet in the first place. Although I honestly don't believe that he had rude intentions while doing so, he would constantly repeat jokes that he saw online that were very degrading of veganism and portraying vegans in a very alienating way. When he found out that I was one of these aliens, he, of course, amped up the jokes. Whenever we saw each other, he would always find a way to somehow slip in a passive-aggressive way about talking about veganism, and when we didn't see each other, he would text me about it. This would end up contributing to me ending my journey as being vegan. And I'm not butthurt over this, so I don't want anyone thinking that this guy single-handedly ruined my happy life of being vegan, because there were many contributing factors as to why I stopped. I began to lose interest in it, and when that happened, it just started feeling more like a chore instead of doing something that I wanted. And when that happened, I started eating a lot more processed foods, and I got really unhealthy really fast. All of that, plus the feeling of being picked on, just made me feel like it was the right time to stop. So one day I just brought it up to my mom and said, you know what, this was fun doing it for over a year, but honestly, I think I just want to be a vegetarian. So currently I'm an ovo-vegetarian, meaning I don't eat meat or dairy, but I will eat eggs. My message to people who are thinking of or want to make this switch is go for it. I know it can be kind of scary and intimidating not knowing what people are going to think of you and what people are going to say. But if you find that it's something that you truly do enjoy and believe in, then what other people are going to say isn't going to matter. And my message to everyone, vegan or not, is to please be considerate of one another. In the same way that you don't want a vegan to shame you for eating a burger and telling you that meat is murder, vegans don't want you to disrespect them for eating vegetables instead. So just be kind to one another and try to respect one another's beliefs, even though they might not coincide with your own. So anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, and you can of course subscribe to see more videos by me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Mija, when you don't eat chicharrones, my heart to go from a full to a these.
Also, that shot is way too close to your face.
Who's to say?
Me. It's my video, and I say no.
I don't think so. Let me